Good morning. Our group number is 30 and our group members are shown in the next slide. Today we are ready to present about the conduct of the plantation industry in the country and its main company Agalawatha Plantation PLC. Pumi, so I give the chance for you to start the presentation.
Thank you, Umeshi. Now I explain the introduction. Real investment, which is the generally a compensation by foregoing computation, is the process on eating greater income or profit from an investment over time. The most stable economic in the world, Sri Lanka, always 100% profit, represent main tax rate and re-regulation. The main stock exchange in the Sri Lanka is CSE. There is a big demand for investment in the plantation sector of the CSE. According to our analysis for Agalawatha Plantation PLC, this firm is prominent in the plantation sector. The next slides confirmation explanation of the introduction analysis of the plantation sector, a soft analysis, a technical analysis of Agalawatha PLC, and our actual investment data. We can now investigate it. Thank you. Next over to.
Thank you, Pumi. There are three main sectors that contribute to the economic in Sri Lanka, namely agriculture, industry, and service. It should also be mentioned that the main plantation crop in this country, tea, coconut, palm oil, and rubber. Cinnamon and other spices are also grown and expressed in this way. Sri Lanka rubber mostly concentrate in the wet zone of hectare 127,500. Sri Lanka is the fourth largest tea production country with about 10% of the international feed production share and a tea export accounting of the about 19% of the global tea demand. Similarly, Sri Lanka crop has a diversity which seems to have been helped by the country location and climate. Industry average growth rate. Let us consider the growth rate of tea, rubber, coconut and palm oil production in Sri Lanka. As of June 2023, Sri Lankan total tea production millions kilo 22.99 and by May 2022 it will be millions kilo 20.1. When refers to the growth here, 2021 palm oil production metric ton 29,731. Coconut production of US dollar million 836.1 in the year 2021 in shows the growth of 25% 8 compared to the other year. Then the annual growth rate of plantation in Sri Lanka can be shown here and some ups and downs can be seen mainly. Next over to Tarindu.
Thank you, Ajra. Now I am going to talk about how weather conditions and government regulation affect to the plantation industry. Weather condition zones can be divided into three main parts. They are wet zone, intermediate zone, and dry zone. Also, weather conditions affect to the plantation industry in both positive and negative ways. One positive effect is normal weather conditions contribute to good crop growth. As negative effect, heavy rains and strong winds can cause disasters such as uprooting trees and landslides. To control these conditions, different crops can be grown in the same field. The introduction of legal regulations can be seen as the effect of government regulations on the industry. Tea, rubber, and oil palm have separate acts. Increasing product quality, crop diversification, effective capital management, creating a favorable industrial environment by complying with the rules and regulations can be taken as solutions to this effect from change regulations by the government. Thank you, and next listen to Umeshi.
If we talk about the foreign demand, Sri Lanka has a large foreign market for tea, coconut, rubber and spices. Plantation crops contribute more to country's export income. As shown in the first chart, an export income of 173 billion more than in 2020 has been obtained in 2021. Also, according to the second chart, among the three main plantation crops in the country, tea has received the highest export income in a period of 9 months in the year 2022. It's reported as 294.2 billion. According to the information shown in the slide, it can be pointed out that the foreign demand for export crop in this country is very high, and it's a positive situation for plantation industry. Next, if we talk about the restrictions of the plantation industry, such as the lack of infrastructure due to being a developing country, the economic downturn caused by the depreciation of the rupee, and the increase in the cost of imported raw materials, international conflict such as Russia-Ukraine war, and the reduction of new service and innovations can be pointed out as restrictions. These efforts should be made to minimize these for optimal development for the plantation industry. Thank you. Over to you, Nishadi.
Thank you, Umeshi. Agalavat Plantation Private Limited Company is a company engaged in the cultivation, production, processing and sale of tea, rubber and oil palm. It is an agribusiness plantation company. The business is headquartered in Colombo, Sri Lanka and was established in 1992. When McWoods purchased Agalavat Plantation Private Limited Company's controlling interest in December 1995 as part of the plantation privatization process, it confirmed its long-term commitment to the plantation industry. McWoods Plantation Private Limited has been in charge of managing Agalavat Plantation Private Limited Company since it was established in 1992 as a 100% state-owned plantation company. Next, over to you, Anjalika.
Thank you, Nishadi. I am now going to talk about SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is a framework for identifying and analyzing an organization's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and traits. So, let me explain some of the strengths and weaknesses of Agalavat Plantation Company. Strength: the company decided to use low flow systems such as D3 and D4 as new production methods to increase productivity. Also, they have taken care of the maintenance of unripe tea and rubber plantation for replanting. However, due to the labor shortage of this company, the production in 2021 and 2022 has decreased. For example, rubber production has decreased by 23%. This has affected this company as a major weakness. Thank you. Next, I invite Keshari.
Thank you, Angelika. Now I am going to talk about the next two components that remain. The first one is the opportunities, and the second one is the threats that this Agalavat Plantation Company is facing. Among those, I will explain some of them. Firstly, opportunities. Growing global consumption of tea and product range diversification. Get 2 points together. Sri Lanka tea has a great place in the global market. Also, the tea market has a huge demand for different flavors. So, Agalavat Plantation may capitalize on this market trend, and they can increase production by diversifying it. Therefore, the profit can be increased. Next, increased market prices and devaluation of the rupee. This plantation company got that opportunity through the increased revenue. 2022 revenue has increased by 608 million over the previous year. Secondly, threats. Mainly the company is facing climate changes, economic changes adversely and import restrictions. Through this SWOT analysis, we can decide this is a favorable company for the invest. Thank you. Next I invite to Kavya.
Thank you, Keshari. Now I am going to talk about some ratios. First, under the profitability ratios, the gross profit ratio has increased by the 7.84 in the year 2022 compared to the year 2021. The net profit ratio shows a growth of 3.91 in the year 2022 compared to the previous year. This increase is also good for their business. And the return on the total assets ratio has also grown by 9.71 in 2022. Return on equity ratio shows a decrease of 0.146 in the year 2022 compared to the year 2021. But in general, the increase in the return on equity ratio is good. Next, gearing ratio. When comparing the debt ratio with the year 2021, it shows a reduction of 21.38 in the year 2022. This reduction is good for their business. In the 2022, the equity ratio has increased by the 21.38 over the previous year. When comparing the debt equity ratio with the year 2021, it shows a decrease of 1.0 in the year 2022. The interest coverage ratio has decreased by the 0.47 in the 2022 compared to the 2021. But in general, the increase in the interest coverage ratio is good. Next, over to Pumi.
Thank you, Kavya. In current ratio, the ability of current assets to cover current liabilities has increased in the year 2022 compared to the year 2021. It is very good situation. In quick ratio has increased compared with 2021. It is good for the company. In this slide, earnings per share ratio and dividend yield ratio also increasing and they give positive situation. But earnings ratio decreased by 4.28% in 2022 compared with 2021. It gives low profitability and heavy debt load to the company. Thank you. Over to Heshan.
Thank you, Pumi. According to this table, Agalavatha plantation show a growth of 33% by the year 2022, year 2021. A reduction of 39% can be in the total loans, and the maximum value of share has got 43% by the year 22. The lowest value of share decreased by 42%.
According to this data, we decided to invest in Agalavatha plantation. Thank you. Over to you, Ishini.
Thank you, Heshan. In this technical analysis, we analyze the behavior of the stock price of the company in the past. Accordingly, we have analyzed the past 1 year. The chart consisting of the information obtained there is placed on this slide. Accordingly, we can see that there was an increase in prices in August and September last year as well. Although the price goes up and down, there is never a very serious drop. Also, there was an increase in prices in the month of July this year. This is why we decided to invest in Agalavatha Plantation Company. Thank you. Next over to Ayodhya.
Thank you, Ishni. I think now you have a proper idea about Agalavatha PLC, and it is one of the main business entity of the plantation industry. According to all the analysis, such as SWOT analysis, ratio analysis, fundamental analysis, and technical analysis, they showed good condition and we deemed suitable for investment. So, after considering all the information, we concluded that Agalavatha Plantation is an industry suitable company and its shares are beneficial for buying. Thank you. Over to you, Keshan.
Thank you, Ayodhya. NDB Securities Private Limited, the broker we have chosen to buy company shares. We bought the 100 shares of Agalavatha Plantation Company. We paid 3,560 rupees was proposed. As on 24th July, when we bought the shares, the share value of share 35 rupees. We have decided to share our profit or loss. Here the ratio 1:1 end of this invest period.
Thank you, and next listen to Lakshan.
Thank you. Now you can see on the slides our risk and return calculation of the investment. Risk calculated as 2.501% and return was changed both positively and negatively. Overall investment return not good but much better than risk that we expected. According to this graph, displays higher and lower prices recorded daily. 28th July and 31st July are 2 days which are recorded highest stock price and lowest price recorded July 23rd, 24th, 25th respectively, with respectable gap between highest price and higher return recorded as 0.06 on the day 2 of the first week and lowest return recorded as minus 0.04 on the day 10 of the third week. Over to you, Madhavi.
Thank you, Lakshan. This graph shows the weekly profit of our investment, as it is every week started with the minimum loss. Over to you, Sarani.
Thank you, Madhavi. This graph shows the monthly return for the period. This can identify 9 peaks for profit making. Further, there are significant differences in benefits. This graph shows the change in stock prices during the month by percentage. Stock prices change little from week 1 to week 3, and also there is a minor increase between weeks 3 and 5. Further, at the end of the month, the change in stock prices was drastically reduced. Now I will hand over to next presenter, Madhavi.
These are the graphical representation of open, high, low closing prices. At last, it is very important to showcase the decisions taken by the stockholders. We had identified returns for the period was gradually decreasing and end up with a loss. Because of it, we have decided not to sell the stocks. Finally, I would like to end this presentation with the famous quote that is saying, the greatest risk is not getting any risk at all. Thank you.
Finally, I would like to thank our module lecturer, Ms. Ridmani, for giving us successful guidance and the knowledge. Also, thank you to our group members for helping to make this work successfully. And sorry for any inconvenience. Thank you.